President Trump has his first dance with Melania. Now the fun begins. President Trump is joined on stage by Melania and the new first family as they sing and dance to My Way as they attend 3 inaugural balls. President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump ended a whistle-stop tour of inaugural balls on Friday at a gala for the armed forces. After appearing at the Liberty and Freedom Balls at the Washington Convention Center, the first couple arrived at the National Building Museum shortly before 11 p.m. to attend the tribute event where they danced with servicemen and women. Earlier, the newly sworn-in president told thousands of well-heeled guests, "Now the fun begins," and reflected on the day's various events as beautiful. In her first public remarks since as First Lady, Melania, dazzling in a one-of-a-kind hair gown, said she was honored by the role. Egged on by her husband, who spoke with troops at Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan via video conference moments earlier, she vowed, "We will fight. We will win. And we will make America great again." The president's motorcade arrived back at the White House at 11:40 p.m., marking the end of a spectacular day of inaugural events. President Trump triumphantly greeted supporters at the first inaugural ball, joining his stunning First Lady on stage to tell them, "Well, we did it. We did it. We began this journey and they said we and me, we didn't have a chance but we knew we were going to win and we won." The pair made a stylish entrance to the Liberty Ball at the Washington Convention Center, arriving just after 9:30 p.m. to take their first dance as POTUS and FLOTUS to My Way. The First Lady dazzled in an ivory hair gown which featured a crimson waist ribbon while the president stuck to a traditional tuxedo. After dancing alone for the song's first verse, they were joined on stage by Vice President Pence and Second Lady Karen Pence. The whole family was then invited to join the couple on stage. In a brief speech before his dance, President Trump again taunted his critics. "Today we had a great day. People that weren't so nice to me were saying that we did a really good job today. They hated to do it, but they did it and I respect that. I respect that, but I have to say the crowd was unbelievable today. I looked at the rain which just never came. You know, we finished the speech, went inside for lunch, it poured, then we came outside. Amazingly, it was like God was looking down on us. I will tell you." Thanking his fans, he paid tribute to the First Lady, his #1 supporter. "What she puts up with, thank you honey." Having already signed his first executive orders, President Trump reminded supporters at the ticketed event how he vowed to get to work straight away. "You are going to see things happening over the next few weeks. Oh, you are going to be so happy. We want to see great things happen for our country. We want to make America great again and we will. So now, it's a tremendous honor to have the first dance with Melania and we're going to be joined by the Vice President, some very wonderful children as we go along. They happen to be my children and Mike's children." Taking a final moment to thank his fans, he said, "I want to thank everybody. We always felt we were going to win. There are no games. We're not playing games. The work begins. We love you, we are going to be working for you and we're going to be producing results." The president then moved swiftly on to his second event of the night, another ball at the same venue where he said, "The fun now begins." In light-hearted speech, he asked guests if he should keep his beloved Twitter account. The room gave a resounding yes, to which Trump responded gleefully, "I think so. I think so. The enemies keep saying it's terrible but it's a way of bypassing dishonest media." The couple attended a third, final ball at the National Building Museum before spending their first night at the White House. The Armed Services Ball was the smallest of the 3 events and was where the first family spent the most time. During his speech there, Trump talked to members of the military serving in Afghanistan via satellite, warning the crowd that there was a 6-second delay. "How is it over there? How's it going?" Trump asked service members. "What question do you have? Don't be like these people. Don't be too tough on me," he said, motioning to the press risers, situated halfway back in the room. Two service members got on the microphone and congratulated Trump for his swearing in. "By the way, I have to tell you, it's a 10-second delay," Trump said. "But I like them much better than I like the media. These are much finer people, nicer people," he cooed. Another four members congratulated Trump on his big day. "Why can't all people be like that?" the president mused. 6 questions and 6 congratulations. While he was also on stage, he touted the 3 contingents who were supposed to be in the crowd. "This is our military, this is our law enforcement, this is our first responders," Trump said. "You're amazing people. You're amazing people. And I like you for a lot of reasons, but also I like the fact that you all voted for me," he added. The President and First Lady both danced with a member of the forces, as did Vice President Pence and Second Lady Karen Pence. Aaron Boheme and the Rockettes were among the acts to perform at the Liberty Ball alongside YouTube sensation The Piano Guys also gave a performance. As the glitzy galas got underway at around 7 p.m., President Trump was signing his first executive orders, making his way straight into the Oval Office after the inaugural parade. He signed in General James Mattis as Secretary of Defense and signed a more vague second order which vowed to ease the burden of Obamacare. At the Salute to Our Armed Service Ball, the heavily uniformed crowd was first entertained by Tony Orlando, who talked about how the now president used to hire him to perform in Atlantic City, back when Trump owned casinos in the beachfront town. Orlando sang a number of tunes including Candida and Knock 3 times, asking the youngish crowd how many of them knew his hits, which came out in 1970 and 1971, respectively. Alluding to Hollywood's boycott of the Trump inaugural and the difficulty the Presidential Inaugural Committee had in finding entertainers, Orlando asked his fellow performers to someday find their heart for the country first, for this nation. Lead singer Josh Weathers, of his eponymous group, the Josh Weathers Band, joked to the crowd, "I know nobody in this room knows who I am," pointing out that Orlando is, in fact, a bigger star. Weathers got the group going with the country crowd pleaser, Garth Brooks' Friends in Low Places. He also sang Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You, hitting the high notes with aplomb. At the Salute to Our Armed Services Ball, President Trump and Vice President Pence will speak on stage to military members video conferenced in from Afghanistan and Iraq. As it's the third and final ball, the Trumps and Pences will dance with different partners, with a member of each branch of the military dancing with the President, First Lady, Vice President, and Second Lady. The Trump's 3 balls are modest in comparison to his predecessor's celebrations. At his 2009 inauguration, Barack and Michelle Obama attended no less than 10. Beyoncé gave an emotional performance of At Last for the couple's first dance at 1. In 2013, only 2 were held in their honor. Jennifer Hudson sang Al Green's Let's Stay Together for the couple's first dance to kick off their second term. The Trumps haven't enjoyed the same enthusiasm from the music industry. Many stars declined invitations to perform or even attend. Andrea Bocelli, who initially suggested he might make an appearance, withdrew amid concerns for safety. Others refused out of political preference. Jazz singer Aaron Boheme is however standing her ground. Speaking of her invitation to sing for the couple's first dance, the musician said it was simply an honor. The formal galas came soon after the end of the inaugural parade on Pennsylvania Avenue. The first family enthusiastically watched from the reviewing stand at the White House, waving to participants as clapping as marching bands made their way past. President Trump was sworn in at noon on the west front portico of the U.S. Capitol building as 45th President of the United States. In a divisive inaugural address, he condemned Washington's elite who he said had been overthrown and devoted himself to the forgotten men and women he vowed would no longer be left behind. Heralding himself as the people's president, President Trump ignored a sudden downpour of rain to say solemnly, "I will fight for you with every breath in my body and I will never, ever let you down." Trump promised America First would become the central organizing principle around which his government is organized. "We will follow 2 simple rules. Buy American and hire American," he declared. After his swearing in, the President and First Lady waved goodbye to the Obamas before a celebratory luncheon in Sanctuary Hall. The two couples met earlier in the day before the inaugural ceremony. Melania warmly presented her predecessor with a large gift from Tiffany's on the White House steps. Once inside, they enjoyed coffee before separately making their way to Capitol Hill, where hundreds of thousands had gathered on the National Mall. A smaller crowd than seen for Obama's 2009 inauguration, many of the seats laid out remained empty as Trump took the oath of office. At the inaugural luncheon, House Speaker Paul Ryan spoke warmly of his good friend and colleague, Vice President Mike Pence. In brief remarks to the room, President Trump graciously acknowledged his election foe Hillary Clinton, who attended on the arm of her husband, former President Bill Clinton. "I was honored, very, very honored when I heard President Bill Clinton and Senator Hillary Clinton was attending today, and I think it's appropriate to say, I'd like you to stand up. And honestly, there's nothing more I can say because I have a lot of respect for those two people," he said. Clinton, who forced a smile as she made her appearance on the portico earlier, appeared to embrace his gesture. She nodded in agreement as Trump told the room how he wanted to move forward and enjoy a term of peace and prosperity. After lunch, the President, Vice President, and First and Second Lady gave a quick salute on the steps of the Capitol before making their way into separate motorcades. The President and his family appeared twice along the route on Pennsylvania Avenue, first stepping out of the presidential limousine with their 10-year-old son Barron to wave to crowds. They hopped out of the car, nicknamed the Beast, later with the entire family. Ivanka Trump, who earlier this week chastised as inappropriate suggestions she would take a role more akin to that of the First Lady than her stepmother, walked with her 3-year-old son Joseph.